Canadian music legend Jim Cuddy has spent a big part of his career on the road. And for more than 30 years, he's been touring, releasing music, and really never slowing down. But along with a lot of musicians, Cuddy was forced to put it all on hold once the pandemic hit, pressing pause on a tour and then staying in one place. Something he says has been an enormous benefit. Cuddy has just released a new single. It is called Good News, something we could all use a little bit more of these days. He is joining us live this morning from Toronto. Good to see you.
Good morning.
All right, before we talk about your new song, I want to talk about you and the past 6 months. You were on the road, you were touring Canada, the pandemic hits. You go to your country home just north of Toronto, and then you were there for quite some time. What was the experience like for you?
Well, it was pretty unnerving to begin with. I mean, I think the same for everybody. I guess I thought this would be gone by the spring, or anyway, there would be a resolution that would be quick. When it occurred to me that this was going to last a long time, I kind of settled in up there. I got a lot of songwriting done. It was a very beautiful place. I was very lucky to be someplace where tension was not running high. People were sort of in a country road, and people there created an email chain to help each other. So those little acts of kindness were inspiring. I come back to the city every week to do something, and I'd be kind of just freaked out by how freaked out everybody was. So I was lucky to be where I was, and it was a productive time for me, and everybody in my world was safe. So it was actually quite beautiful. Those
little acts of kindness that you observe are something that, we here in Your Morning have observed as well, and they were a real help for a lot of people, especially during the beginning times of the pandemic. And so we have a segment that's called Good News, which I love because your new song is also called Good News, and you sing about this moment in time. You say, I hope we've learned not to slip back into ways of the past. What inspired your song?
Well, I think that it was certainly started by being up there and realizing that we're all feeling the pressure of these restrictions, that everybody was going through the same thing. A lot of people cut off from their work, a lot of people cut off from their circle of associations, which was big, a lot bigger than I think any of us realized. And then when all the protests started, I was really moved by how unified everybody was. And I must admit that although I thought, well, this is certainly not about me, it started to impact my thinking. And I thought, I can do a lot more. I can do a lot more to embrace diversity and to understand more about equality. And so when I would see those images, it really inspired me and moved me. And my sister-in-law was in Los Angeles, and she was kind of in the heartland of the protests. She's right in Fairfax and Melrose. And she was sending images up that were, I mean, she was unnerved, and she's an extremely brave person, been all over the world photographing. So it was all that combined to say, we have this resilience in us to get through anything, but we need hope. We need just little rays of hope to keep us going.
As a musician, what do you think the next year looks like for you? What kind of plans are you trying to make in terms of how you're going to be able to play safely, how you're going to be able to connect with fans? The last time you and I were together, we sat down, with your band. We also sat down at the piano together, and you talked about how much you love being out on the road and connecting with your fans. You're not able to do it right now. What are you working on to make some of that happen?
Well, I think that, we're all musicians are now guided by whatever regulations come towards us. Right now, I've done a few small outdoor gigs. 50 people, I think, is the limit here in Ontario. So socially distant, etc. We'll see what happens. I think that to get Blue Rodeo back to normal touring will take a while. And so I think that there's all kinds of other ways. I mean, you can't keep art down. So we've all learned everything about streaming and virtual performances, and there'll be smaller performances here and there, drive-in performances. I think I'm playing a couple of wineries next week. So I think that it'll be a patchwork of small inspired ideas until there's a vaccine, and then maybe we'll get back to normal.
I know your fans are missing you and seeing you in person, but you've done a great job of connecting with them virtually. Jim Cuddy, it's great to see you. I'm glad that you've kept well. You've used your time wisely, and we all get to benefit from it. Thanks so much.
Well, thanks for having me on, and have a good day.
You too. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.